Well, here's a totally unfair question that I ask on a regular basis, an opportunity to alienate some of your professional colleagues. Look forward to it. What are some of those early books that you read and continue to read that inspired you and made you want to be a writer? Obviously, every book is our favorite book, and
Yes.
it's a silly concept overall because why would you pick one book when there are so many wonderful books you could be reading? But if you would just offer us some of those early titles that you read that had a major influence on you.
Okay, so I would say an early title. Well, you mean my childhood or just?
Whenever in life that they spoke to you and said, "Okay, that's the kind of book I want to write. That's the kind of that's what the ideal looks like when I achieve it. It will be similar to this type of book."
Okay, so probably Judy Blume. Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, I just adored. And Super Fudge, and those were books. Well, Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, I read to my students and, saw their response. And I also loved My Side of the Mountain, Jean Craighead George. I'm not sure when this was later. Sarah Plain and Tall, I just think is a classic that I adore. So I could go on. Now I have, newer favorites. I add favorites every day, every week. I still love to read, and middle grade is my sweet spot.
That's when people ask me my favorite middle grade book, I just automatically say The Witches by Roald Dahl, even though I've read other books since that I've enjoyed, and that one's kind of problematic. But Dahl's dead. He's undeniably a great person. You can't argue with that. And all the different writers that I've had on the show and that I'm meeting, they can't get upset that I didn't mention their show, Roald Dahl's Beyond Reproach, or their book rather. So okay, so what would you say of all that experience that you had? And I should also mention that an interview with Jean Craighead George is available at middlegradeninja.com.
Oh, yay, I didn't know.
So
Great.
head that way, esteemed audience. And an email came to me, I believe, written by the Judy Blume, saying, "Thanks so much for your kind words and your interest. I'm afraid I don't have time at this moment, but it's still a wonderful email. I've got it treasured and cherished."
Yeah.
So, what would you say impacted your writing more? This is sort of a silly question because, of course, I'm sure it all did. But did you learn more teaching elementary school, reading to children, and hearing what they liked about stories?
Mhm.
Or did you learn more actually as a bookseller trying to appeal to children readers?
That's a really great question. And I was definitely influenced by my students and what I chose for them and what I saw them reading. But I was in the classroom like 5 years, and I was in the bookstore for 13. So I'd have to say the bookstore had an even more impact because I was exposed to many more books, and I read even more. And our customers had, of course, a wide variety of interests, so I would learn from them as well. So I was exposed to and had, the best time reading.
Plus, you had a real monetary incentive to find out what types of books they liked and make sure you had them on the shelves, right?
Right. Right.